Good afternoon, everybody. How is it going? Doing a bit of a quick stream before, obviously, the other content that's coming on the channel later on. So we've got Scoutcast at 8 o'clock this evening. We'll have team selection with Gianni tomorrow morning, and we'll have team news tomorrow and Breakfast Club on Saturday as well. So there is lots of content to come, but as we've got nothing planned before Scoutcast tonight, I thought I'd just jump on, do a bit of a mid-game. I say mid-game week, it's pretty much done apart from Spurs versus Liverpool, which is pretty big because obviously a lot of people own Salah still, a lot of people have Robertson, Trent, Kane, Son. So there's plenty of points still up for grabs for the rest of the game week. But for most people, a lot of their players are finished, right? 8 or 9 players we've had playing. And yeah, it's been a pretty interesting week so far. I'm sure there's plenty to talk about. But yeah, if you've got any questions, just put them in the chat and we'll just go through them one by one. I've got my team up just as a reference more than anything. We might look at the members area a bit, depending on the questions. It says it should be starting now. Yes, here is the stream. Literally just set it up. Predictions for tonight's game. There are some, I should say, very, very, not baseless rumours, but apparently people haven't seen Fabinho in training. That would be interesting if he was missing out against Spurs. That'd be pretty big, to be honest. I think this is a tight, cagey affair. I don't think either manager wants to lose the game, which I know is like so cliche to say because obviously neither manager wants to lose the game. But sometimes you get like these big games towards the end of the season where there's a lot more up for grabs almost. Whereas at this stage of the season, we're only just halfway through. It'd be a bad time to lose for either manager. So I expect it to be tight like last time. It was 2-1 last time. I could see the same again, to be honest. 2 Liverpool rather than Spurs. But let's see, I guess. Let's see. Congratulations, top one. Yeah, top 1K. At the moment, I've only got one player tonight, though, so probably drop out. Is Calvert-Lewin worth for -4? I suppose it depends who you're taking out, doesn't it, really? I think a lot of people... A lot of people are big on Calvert-Lewin right now, and I think he's a fine option. I just don't necessarily think a lot of players that are probably being taken out need to be taken out. Obviously, if you've got Chris Wood, like me, then fair enough. But if you've got like Watkins or Antonio or Bamford or something like that, probably not as important. Best budget keeper for the short and the long term. I mean, it depends what you define by budget, but I think if you can afford it, Martinez is probably still one of the best options. I think the fixtures are quite good in the short term. They're pretty good in the medium term as well, and he's got fixtures to rearrange. And there's a good chance he'll get a double game week as well. So I still really like Martinez. I know he's not 4.5 million. If you had to go down that low, I'd probably go Areola at Fulham. I think. Just thinking about it, I think they've got fixtures to rearrange still. He's still like 4.5 million. Fulham's defence is doing all right. Like you, I'm sitting with 7+ million in my bag. Brewster to Kane, I own Son, or should I get Grealish in considering he's returning consistently? That depends on a lot of things. Like, you know, if you get Kane in, what other moves does that stop you doing? I think double up on Spurs is fine. I don't think it's anywhere near essential for the next few fixtures. I think Brighton's pretty tough. Chelsea's tough. Man City's tough, and that's 3 of the next 4 fixtures. But obviously West Brom at home in game week 23 looks really nice, and probably a good fixture to have both. So I don't not trying to sit on the fence, but I don't know if there's a massively right or wrong answer there. If you prefer Kane as captain, then go for it. But it depends how that money being locked out is going to affect your team. So that's something to think about. Is Kane essential for the next 3 game weeks? No, nowhere near essential, I would say. Yeah, nowhere near. Which defender, if any, for game week 23 onwards? I mean, by game week 23, hopefully we'll have a little bit of an idea about what Tuchel is going to do with his defence, in terms of how often he's going to play 5 at the back, 4 at the back, or 3 at the back with wing backs, or 4 at the back, and stuff like that. But otherwise, I mean, I'd love Reece James because of his price, but Rudiger, if he's going to keep playing, he's only 4.5 million. He looks like a bit of a bargain. So he's someone I got my eye on. Like by game week 23, we would have seen a few more games for Chelsea, so it'd probably be easier to think about. I did bench Souček. I don't know if I'm now that Wood got 8 points. I don't know if I was really annoyed about it when the game was on, but now it's like whatever. Souček scored 2 goals. He'll probably never do that again for the rest of the season. Just one of those unlucky things, really. Got my points from Wood. Missed out on 7 points. I was never going to bench Saka, Antonio, Bamford anyway, so it's one of those things. It is what it is. We move on. What are your expected captain picks next 3 game weeks? This week it's going to be Kane or Salah, and I'm not sure which one I'm going to do right now. Right now I'm probably on Kane, but that could switch. I just think West Ham defence is pretty good. I don't think it's going to be an easy game for Liverpool. I don't think Brighton's that easy for Spurs either, by the way, but it's probably a bit easier than West Ham. And then in game week 22, can't remember what game week we're on, it will be Salah against Brighton, probably. And then game week 23 will be Kane against West Brom. And then I think Fernandes plays West Brom in game week 24. But obviously, if Man City do end up getting a double game week in 24, I'll captain over Cancelo, Stones, or Gundogan for sure, I would say. If Salah doesn't play, my vice-captain Cancelo will get captain and Souček subbed on. Yeah, that's not happening, I'm afraid. Not happening. I mean, it could happen, but I doubt it. If Salah misses out, it'd be pretty big for me as well. I'd be well happy with that. But I don't think it's going to do it. Put some respect on West Ham. Didn't I literally just say they're really good defensively? Which week is best to save my wildcard for? That's going to depend on your team, but definitely save it. If you've not already used it, you should definitely be waiting until we know more about double game weeks now. Your team would have to be in an absolute mess to warrant using it now, I think. There's just not enough to attack right now. There's going to be so much more info in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So you could use it before the doubles to prep for the doubles. You could use it afterwards to fix your team, but it's going to depend on what the fixtures are. You'll have to think about it then. I think you should take out a forward and upgrade one of your mids to Grealish. I mean, I've got 8.8 million in the bank, so I can do Wood and Saka to Grealish and Kane, which I'm considering. I don't know about Saka. It's a bit of an annoying... In some ways, annoying is the wrong word because I've got loads of points out of him, but he hasn't blanked. Sorry, he's only blanked once in the last 6 matches, which is pretty crazy. So goal, assist, goal, blanking the free hit when people got on him, and then goal and assist. So he's been really good. I just don't know what to make of the next few fixtures because you can't see that, can you? That's a bit annoying. But Man United, Wolves, Villa, Leeds. I mean, the Leeds game's obviously good, but the rest I'm just not sure about. So I'm thinking about taking a hit for Grealish. But I don't know. I'm not sure about Saka. Part of me is tempted just to keep on not taking hits when I don't need to and just do Wood to Kane and just leave it. Obviously, I could do Saka to Son as well, but I don't want to leave Wood. I'd rather have Saka than Wood, I think. I'm definitely transferring out Wood, not Bamford. I don't think Burnley's fixtures are actually that good either. Chelsea, then City. I mean, the fixtures after that are... You can't see it again. I don't know why it's not showing up. It's Chelsea, then City, which are difficult. Then it's Brighton, Palace, West Brom. Well, I don't want to get caught in the trap of holding Chris Wood any longer. But he does get chances. Like his XG numbers are usually pretty good, to the point where people are always surprised when they see them. You have no Spurs players ahead of Liverpool. We don't have Fabinho. Yeah, I know, but why would I care about that? Okay, Fernandes. This is the thing that I keep saying to people. People always look at everyone else's teams and only look at the negatives. I've got 70 points this week. And I got Salah left. I'm not bothered about what Kane and Son do tonight. If they get hat-tricks, fair enough. But no one's predicting that pre-match. So I'm not going to worry about it at all. Like, I was never selling Salah for Son or Kane. I was never selling Fernandes. So it would have had to have been Saka or Wood. Saka got 13 points. Wood got 8. So what if Fabinho misses out, you know? I'll bring one of them in next week. Spurs have 115 effective ownership, so bad for today. Like I just said, it is what it is. You can't own everyone. What do I think of Luca Dean? Do you know what puts me off Luca Dean? Jordan Pickford. And Sir Maximin's back as well now. It would just be typical to bring Luca Dean and then they concede against Newcastle. But I do quite like 3 of the next 4 Everton fixtures. I think they've got Fulham, Newcastle, and Leeds. And obviously, he's playing so advanced. I think he's decent. Yeah, I like that. I like it as a bit of a differential, to be honest. I have considered keeping Saka and selling Wan-Bissaka for a hit instead, and just getting Kane and Luka Dean in, but I'm probably just going to keep Wan-Bissaka for now, because although I don't rate Wan-Bissaka as an FPL option at all, and I really wish I had Maguire, which I would have done, by the way, if whatever, what am I trying to say, if he wasn't on 4 yellows, but I don't necessarily need to play Wan-Bissaka every week. Okay, let's have a look. Besides City, best clean sheet potential for the next few game weeks. Luka Dean potentially. Let me just double check what the exact fixtures are for everyone else. I haven't got all of them off the top of my head. Hang on, let me bring them up here on the other screen. Have I changed my mind on Calvert-Lewin? I don't know what you mean. Don't think so. Did I change my mind on him? What did I don't really remember what I've said about him. Yeah, let's have a look here. So, I mean, Leicester fixtures are quite good. I just don't know if I want to buy any Leicester defenders. That's the only thing. I actually think Chelsea as well. The only problem with Chelsea is who's going to start the next game. That'd be my only worry. Otherwise, if you've got Mitchell, he's pretty good. There's not really too many teams with like massively great fixtures. I mean, even Everton, to be fair, the next 3 are Newcastle, Leeds, Man United. It's probably not the best for defensive returns. What should you do with Fernandes? Stop spamming the question, I guess. That would be the first thing. You got DCL, and yeah, lots of people liking DCL this week. If you want a Kane really bad but can't decide who to sell between Bamford or Watkins, would you do a coin toss? No, I mean, I think Bamford's someone you could keep, but I think possibly Watkins is a better option just due to the fixtures right now. The fixtures aren't great for either of those sides. They're not like, sometimes you get those fixture runs of West Brom at home, Palace away, Fulham at home. They're not like that. I'd possibly side with Watkins, but I don't know how much subconsciously. I don't know how much subconsciously that is playing on my mind. The fact that Watkins has just scored in the last 2 and Bamford hasn't. I don't know. Villa are just so good, but then the Leeds can be. I guess you toss a coin. Toss a coin because I can't decide. I think I'd probably sell Bamford right now if I had Bamford and Watkins, but I wouldn't really want to be selling Bamford. I feel like there's better transfers to be making. I do like Everton's next couple of fixtures. It's not that I'm put off him really. It's just that I don't know. Like I could potentially have Kane, Bamford, Antonio next game. I will probably have Kane, Bamford, Antonio. So where does Calvert-Lewin fit? Like he's not worth a hit for Bamford, for example. So I'm not really looking at getting him. I do like his next few fixtures, and if I really wanted to go, if I thought Son was a much better option than Kane, I would probably go Son and Calvert-Lewin. But I'm probably just going to go Kane and Grealish instead. Whether or not I go Kane and Grealish this week, I don't know. Might not take a hit, basically. You should be frustrated losing the Sheffield United clean sheet. Man United, for some reason, always concede to Sheffield United. I put that out on last night, and people kept tweeting me, this is the first time they've scored at Old Trafford since 1993. Fully get that. But in the last 4 league games, home and away, we have conceded 7 goals, Sheffield United. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Calvert-Lewin's out of form. Don't worry about it. Nah, see, I'm not buying into this form. In form, out of form. What you mean to say is he hasn't scored any goals recently, but the question is not has he scored goals or not recently. It's is he going to score goals coming up? And I think the fixtures are there for it. Rodriguez is back. Luka Dean's back. I think it looks good for Calvert-Lewin. He's got the fixtures about it for sure. Maddison or Barnes? I always prefer Barnes. I've been asked that question loads. I'm sticking to Barnes. I mostly prefer Barnes for the goal for it, and he's actually got the assist last night. I'm not Maddison's biggest fan as an FPL option, to be honest. Do you have any logical explanation how United lost to Sheffield United? I don't. I mean, there was just no... There was no sense of urgency from Man United at all. I mean, to be fair, Sheffield United defended really well. They didn't give us any space to play in at all. But it was just awful. It was such an awful game to watch. We were just so bad. Luka Dean played last night against Leicester. Is Gundogan worth taking out Souček or Rafinha for? I would rather have Gundogan than both those players. Let me just say that. Whether or not that's your best transfer to make, obviously only you can decide that from your own team. But if I had to prioritise Gundogan, Rafinha, Souček, it would be Gundogan. Then the other two, I still prefer Rafinha, but I think the fixtures are on Souček's side. It's hard to keep backing against Souček, really. The 2 goals, though, come on. That's a bit ridiculous. And then he's trying to shoot from the edge of the box to get his hat-trick. Absolute madness. Other way around, I don't have a logical explanation how United won their previous games. Yeah, fair enough. Maybe been a bit lucky. How long do you think Gundogan can carry this form? I mean, the amount of goals he has scored is probably not massively sustainable in the fact that he has scored 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 and 8 games. Like, I would put good money on the fact that in the next 8 games he doesn't have 7 goals, but he's getting into the right positions. He's taking plenty of shots in the box. I think he only actually had 2 shots in the last game and got 2 goals. So again, that's probably a little bit fortunate, but he is getting into the right positions, and so I don't know. I mean, the next 2 fixtures are quite good. After that, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal, we might see some disappointment, I would say, but he's so cheap. Like, what does it matter? So I don't know. In terms of scoring 7 and 8, probably not going to happen. But in terms of still being a really good option, I would say yes. Is Gundogan a good captaincy pick? Yeah, I feel like part of me is like ruining the fact that I didn't take a punt on captaining him against West Brom. Now, obviously, there is a lot of hindsight there because I didn't expect Fernandes to blank. But I remember doing the captaincy video thinking West Brom are really bad. Like, Sheffield United aren't great, but West Brom are just that bit worse. But then again, they're not playing West Brom now. They're playing Sheffield United. And how tricky will Sheffield United make it for them? They're showing a little bit of form now. They probably have been unlucky with the amount of goals and losses they've had. But we should say, they still conceded 3 to Spurs in the game before. And this is Man City. And like Man City are just so much harder to deal with than Man United. So I think Gundogan's a good captaincy option. But I think I don't think there's a massive standout this week. So I think Gundogan's not bad. You know, Salah, Kane, etc. You can look at all of them. But I think Gundogan has to be part of the. He has to be part of the conversation for sure. Now, do I think Foden was subbed for playing poorly? I don't think he was brilliant, but I don't think he was. No, I don't think that's why he was subbed. I think at the end of the day, the game was won, and you're giving players rest. They don't have De Bruyne. They got to keep their creative players fit now. Who do I think are the best FPL assets in order out of Gundogan, Grealish, Barnes, and Rodriguez? Oof, that's a tough question. I feel like just because he's man's, would I put Gundogan ahead of Grealish? I think I probably would. Just about for the next couple of fixtures. I'd probably do it Gundogan, then Grealish, then Rodriguez. Although Rodriguez is probably a little bit harsh on him. And then Barnes last, I think. You captain Gundogan, fair play to you. City looks to be running away with the title. Yeah, City definitely winning the title the way it stands. Like, Liverpool just need to turn it back on quick. Otherwise, they're gonna. Otherwise, City are just gonna run away with it. Literally. Would you sell Foden for Barnes straight swap? I don't think so. I think the fact that Foden came. I think the fact that he came off early is a good thing. I know you could see it as a bad thing, but I would see it as a pretty good thing, right? What are your opinions on Sterling and Gundogan in the same FPL team? I don't mind it. I think, again, maybe you've slightly missed the bite by not having that for the West Brom game, considering they both got double returns. The next couple of games are okay. Sheffield United at home, Burnley away. Obviously, they're not as good as West Brom, but they're pretty good, especially for Man City. Then again, it does get tricky. So I think at that point, I'd rather have double defence, if anything. Just because they're cheaper. Like Sterling's quite a bit of budget, although if you've got Gundogan instead of De Bruyne, you've got a lot of money spare, I suppose. So for the next two, I definitely don't mind it. But think about your long-term moves, I would say. How did you not captain? Yeah, okay. Advice for Trent owners: wait and see what happens in tonight's game. The problem with Trent right now is I actually think he's been doing okay. I think he's getting into pretty good positions. Like, I know I tweeted out that one that we heard on the commentary about the one about where Trent just lost the ball, but that's what he does, right? Because he tries to play those difficult passes. Against Burnley, I know none of the crosses connected, but he was constantly crossing the ball across. I think Trent's okay. The problem is he's not cheap. He's just not cheap. And that is part of the problem with him right now. You can spend your money possibly better elsewhere. The thing is, the longer you leave Trent in, I guess the slightly worse the Man City players become because their good fixtures start to run out. But if they're going to double like 2 or 3 times in the next kind of 5-6 weeks, it's still a good play, surely. What was my first FPL rank? What, like my first ever season? First ever season. 20,698th. But I know everyone's got an excuse for all their ranks, but the first kind of 2 or 3 seasons, I wasn't doing YouTube. I was just playing with mates. I just wanted the best rank. Just wanted to win my mini league. So the amount of -8s I took in those seasons, I'd say, was quite high. It's a shame they don't show that. It's a shame you can't go back and have a look. But I reckon the amount of -4s and -8s I took in those seasons at the end, when I was like 100+ points clear on my mini leagues, was quite. Yeah, it was quite high, I would say. But still, 20k, not bad. Pickford doesn't matter for Luca Dini, has 6 assists and 10. Yeah, fair enough, but you want the clean sheets as well, don't you? I mean, clean sheets are the bread and butter of a defender in FPL. So you don't want to just rely on those assists. What was my highest rank during the game? That makes it sound like I would have even been checking during the game, as if I would do that. Can we trust Man United defenders? In easier fixtures, hopefully, but I mean, I wouldn't, the next game's at Arsenal, I wouldn't probably want to play them too much there. What do I think can be done to improve the cup? I think they need to give us a free hit team every week. That'd be more interesting, personally. By Foden or Gundogan short term? I mean, I guess I've kind of answered that by my team selection. I've got Gundogan. That's where I would go. I feel like I think Foden possibly has on more occasions than not has a chance to go a bit more, like a bit of a higher ceiling. But then Gundogan's just got 14 points and he came off so early. And I think Gundogan's probably a bit more nailed, and he's probably on penalties too. So I think I'd have to go for him. I'm in the lucky position of not being sure what transfer to make. Some people would say that's not unlucky, but it means you've got more of a headache. You've got more of a headache about what to think about. Who's my favourite FPL player of all time? It's probably going to be Salah after this season. If he gets another 250 points, that's ridiculous. For not one season wonder, but my favourite player for any given season was Suarez when he got 295 points. Ridiculous. Better than Salah's 303 in my opinion. You never mentioned Cavani as an FPL asset because, as we saw last night, I just think he's going to share minutes with Martial, and that makes him less of an interest to me, to be honest. Any January transfer rumours interesting you? Could we perhaps see a new Bruno shake things up? I've seen next to nothing. Honestly, any time the transfer window is about to open or opens, Twitter and the news just become so boring with transfer rumours that are never going to happen or never do happen. I've literally seen nothing, like virtually nothing. So yeah, I know basically, unless you've seen anything I haven't. Would you keep Souček after his haul? I mean, I'm going to keep him, but I'm going to bench him. Like, he's playing Liverpool. The 2 goals is honestly insane. Like, it's not going to happen. That. Oh, I know what I've done now. I know what I've done. That's why you couldn't see the fixtures just a minute ago. I cropped this the wrong way around. There we go. So yeah, I'm benching Souček again this week. Because why not? Why not? Is he going to get another 2 goals? Mad. He's now scored 4 in the last 6. He's just too good. It's just too good. But he's still being on my bench. Who to bench? Souček or Dallas? Oh, Dallas, surely. Surely Dallas. Keeping your eye on William Jose at Spurs. Yeah, we'll have to see how he performs. I mean, and Wolves need someone, don't they? Can Wolves get back to the team we kind of grew to love over the last couple of seasons? My ranks, I know a few people have asked, my rank is like 800 and something, 849 as it stands on the FPL page. It's probably a bit lower than that with auto subs. But I only have 1 player tonight, so probably... Yeah, Odegaard, yeah, but I think the question was about possible transfers rather than ones that have already come in. I would have to see where he plays, how much time he gets. Obviously, it's just a loan move. And Smith Rowe's been playing really well. Obviously, when Aubameyang's fit, he's going to be on the left, Saka's on the right. So I'm not going to... Like, I'm not assuming that... I'm not saying they've brought him in and they're not going to play him, but I need to see how many minutes and stuff he gets. Obviously, he was one of those players a few years ago that was touted as the next big thing, and it hasn't quite worked out. He's been loaned quite a lot. But yeah, let's see. I'm always open to giving new players a go, but I want to see them. I want to see them play a bit first. See how many minutes they get. Are Gundogan and Cancelo nearly essential now due to the way they're playing and their price? Look, we can say that now because they're playing Sheffield United then Burnley. After that, I don't think we would necessarily be saying that. They're not. No one's essential, but they are a very good price. The thing for Cancelo is he's going to miss out from time to time, so you've got to kind of take that into account. And he probably was a little bit fortunate for his haul because I don't think that goal should have probably stood. It should have stood because of VAR, but it shouldn't have been flagged so early. Cancelo's price next year. I've thought about City player prices. I mean, they're going to be at least 6.5, aren't they? If Cancelo gets the rest of the season and keeps this up, he might be 7, but I reckon 6.5. I don't think they'll put them straight up to Liverpool prices. There'd usually be like a season in between. I should really put slow chat on, shouldn't I? I can't remember how to do it. I'll do it later anyway. Just going to stream for a few more minutes. So any more questions that we haven't already talked about, get them in. Start Martinez or Johnston. It's so hard to recommend playing a West Brom goalkeeper. If they're ever going to get a clean sheet, though, it's against Fulham. I'm playing Martinez, but I don't know how happy I am about it. The only thing is, Southampton right now are not scoring a huge amount of goals, so I don't think it's a bad time to play Martinez, but I'd maybe just about take a risk on West Brom keeping a clean sheet against Fulham. Calvert-Lewin was essential in a season keeper at the time. So yeah, exactly. I think most players are not season keepers. It's very rare you have a player from start to finish. I've sold Salah twice, for example. I've sold Son twice. I've sold Kane twice. And I'm going to buy one of Kane or Son back this week. Like, season keepers are just... It's very rarely a thing, is it? Very rarely a thing. Will Arsenal or Man United be higher up the table at the end of the season? Ooh. I don't know if I can be bothered with any more Arsenal fans tweeting me, so I'm not going to answer that. When am I looking to free hit? Good question. I don't know. I'm basically leaving my options open with free hit. So if you've not got your wildcard, you've got a free hit. We need to see what the fixtures do. Or how the fixtures fall for double games. Because if I'm going to bring in a Spurs player, so this is my team, your team might be the same. If I'm going to bring in a Spurs player this week, so say Kane, I've got triple City already, 4. So I'd almost certainly have triple City on a wild card, or sorry, on a in my ideal free hit team. I'll probably get another Spurs player. I might have Grealish by then. That's possibly 6 out of 11 already that I'd be happy to start. And so if the rest of it falls in place to the point where I can just make a good team that I'm genuinely happy with for game week 26, then I'll probably just save the free hit for the blank. But if it works out the other way, I'll just free hit in the double, and I'll just use my triple captain in a different double game week. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now. Predictions for Man United versus Arsenal. I think it's going to be really tight, like last time. So in the last game, like I don't think Arsenal really deserved to. I mean, Arsenal played really well. Arsenal were better than us, though. I'll just say that straight away. Arsenal were better than us in winning the ball back, but they didn't really do much going forward. It just so happened that Pogba decided to foul Bellerin, which is where the penalty came from. I think we'll see similar. Man United are away, though, so they might attack it a bit more and might try and counter a bit more. So I could see another 1-0, but I think Man United will get it this time. As long as we don't make the same mistakes as last time, because last time Arsenal won the ball back constantly over and over again. We couldn't break them down at all. So I think Man United might do a bit better this time. I do think it'll be tight, 1-2-0. I'm going for a Man United win, though. I hate to say. I know Arsenal fans will be all up in me grill on Twitter now. But with Partey there, right, Saka's playing really well at the moment. Tierney, if he's back and playing, Arsenal are looking better now, so it is a bit of a worry. No, it's definitely Pogba that fouled Bellerin, not Fernandes. Because it was back when Pogba wasn't really playing that much. So yeah. Who'd play? Watkins, Antonio, or Bamford? Can only play 2. I'd probably play Watkins and Antonio, I think. Oh no, he's playing Liverpool though, isn't he? I don't like benching Antonio, but just because it's Liverpool, I possibly would. I don't like that. I'd rather just try and play all 3 of them. If you predict 1-0, why De Gea on the bench? Because I've got 2 Man United defenders. I don't want to play both of them. I want to split my risk. I'm not that confident. You know, if it was West Brom away or West Brom at home, I'd play both. But I think it's just better to hedge my bets, basically. Right, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll be back for the Scoutcast anyway to go a bit more in depth on some of this stuff this evening at 8 o'clock with Joe, Ted, and Seb. So make sure you tune in for that. Obviously, if you're watching the football, you can check it out afterwards. We'll also have Gianni team selection in the morning. So that'll be out kind of early, and then we'll have team news tomorrow afternoon, then Breakfast Club on Saturday morning. So lots to come. Please make sure you subscribe if you have enjoyed it. Hit that like button as well. And good luck tonight. Whichever players you got left, come on, Mo Salah. A hat-trick wouldn't be bad, would it?